welcome to your Flow and Restore. If we've never met before, I am Dom. Super happy to be here with you today. Flow and Restore, the restorative portion means we require lots of props to get super comfy. So with that in mind, if you would like to collect a whole whack of pillows and blankets for yourself, please feel free to crack on and do that. I have like a fair amount here. I have some bigger ones. We're going to be taking a reclining posture today. So yes, please feel free to stock up, as well as grabbing a couple blankets that we're going to use to get extra cozy. I'm going to let you do that as I start to kind of shift mine over. Now I will give a heads up to anyone watching on YouTube that YouTube has again started to be really funny to me. So if we happen to lose each other halfway through class, I am live on Instagram at DomChesh, if you would like to check that out. And also I record and save multiple versions of the class. So if we lose each other halfway through, there will still be an upload to my YouTube channel with the full class anyway. So know if we lose each other on YouTube that there are options and we will figure it out all together. So once you've collected all of your propos, if you'd like to keep a blanket handy or if you'd like to grab some blocks, please feel free to grab those as well. And I brought myself down, but I feel like let's stand. Let's start standing today. Happy summer solstice, if you recognize and celebrate. And so our theme for class today is going to be about summer solstice. So lots of sun sals. That being said, I am going to give us options if you are sort of like not happy with shoulder heavy work. I also can't do a ton of shoulder heavy work. So there's going to be something here for everybody, I promise. Let's make your way up to your mat and let's sort of stand like halfway to more towards the back of your mat. And can we just sort of like give our bodies a little hum, a little zhuzh, shaking through your hands, up your arms, maybe your arms overhead, give them a little shaky shake, maybe shaking into your hips, maybe give your legs a little wiggle down through your body, maybe let yourself start to hang, shake. If you just had breakfast, maybe don't shake too violently. And maybe turn in a bit of a circle, maybe close your eyes. Don't be afraid to get kind of silly. Spirit of summer solstice is that sunshine and celebrating all of the beauty that's coming in at this time of year, celebrating the life-giving of sun, yeah? Shake. And then can you start to sort of slow this body hum down until you settle? I'm just gonna read. I'm so happy you're shaking. And then taking a second to arrive nice and still wherever you are. Maybe feeling the essence of that hum still traveling around your body. Starting to come into your breath, inhaling through your nose. Can we all sigh out together? Inhaling here, collecting from the ground up, allowing that oxygen to travel up to your body. Exhaling it out. As we inhale, let's reach those arms up overhead. Exhaling, bringing them down through heart center. Release the arms beside you. Inhale, the arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, guide them down. A few more like this. Inhale, just the arms sweep. Exhale, down through the center. Got me smiling. 2 more. Inhaling up, just moving through those arms. Exhaling down. Now this is your practice, so if there's any extra little bit of finesse you want to add to movement, please feel free to do so. Together, inhale, sweep the arms up. This time as we breathe out, we're going to bow down over our legs. Now, if you don't like going more than halfway, don't go more than halfway. Stay halfway, or you can come all the way down. Let's take this first one. Let's rub our hands together to create a bit of heat and fire, and then take that lovely warmth, much like the sun, and just massage anything that might feel sort of tight or uncomfortable, hamstrings, hips, maybe into your neck, maybe into your jaw, maybe your ankles, elbows, shoulders. Letting yourself hang out here, taking another inhale, bending through the knees as you breathe out. Push the floor away, ripple the spine up. Those arms follow as they reach up overhead. Hands come down through center, release to your side. Inhale, they sweep up. Exhale, they bow forward and down. Let's stay here for an inhale. Maybe see if you can release your head a little bit more. Breathing it out. Next inhale, push the floor away, sweeping yourself up, using a bit of leg support here. Exhale, bring the hands down, release beside your hips. Inhale, the arms sweep up. We're adding on here, friends. Exhaling to melt it down. Inhale, hands sweep up about halfway to lengthen out. Now imagine you were doing like a cat-cow transition and you wanted to hit right in the middle. That's what this is. Or like if you were holding a plank. Staying nice and long here. One more breath in as we breathe out, keeping a gentle bend in the knees as you bow forward. Pushing your feet through the floor. Inhale, ripple, roll, lengthen your spine up overhead. Exhale, hands come down through center, release to your side. We're doing that again. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhaling to bow forward. Inhale to lengthen up halfway. Exhale to melt down to the floor. Push your feet through the floor. Use some glute strength here. Lengthen yourself all the way up. Exhale, hands down through center beside your hips. One more time. Inhaling, they come up. Exhaling to bow down. Inhaling up halfway. Exhale to melt. Push your 3 feet through the floor. Roll your spine all the way up overhead. Hands down through heart center. Take a pause, breathing in. Starting to make your way closer towards the top edge of your mat. Breathing in here. Breathing it out. Release those hands. Can we look down at our toes and can we pick up all of our toes off of the floor? And then can you put down just your big toe? And then can you put down just your second toe? And then just your third toe? Just your fourth toe? Just your fifth toe? Feel your feet spread across the floor like roots rooting down. Inhale, the arms sweep up. Exhaling to melt forward over those legs. Inhaling to come up halfway. As we exhale, we're melting down in space. Let's step both of our legs back. Let's come down onto hands and knees. So hands and knees, nice transition. If you're not feeling super great in shoulders, because you can keep a little bit of the weight back, I'm okay with that. As we inhale, let's lengthen from tail to head, opening the chest out through the hands. As you breathe out, scooping around through that pelvis, zip up through your belly, push the floor away, and really push the floor away here. Inhale to lengthen out through your tail, open your chest through your hands, getting a bit of that ripple sensation back in the spine. Exhaling to round. Now, as we inhale, as we draw our chest through our hands, let's keep drawing our shoulder blades down our back as well, so it doesn't become slouchy in the shoulders. It becomes quite open across the top of the chest. And then by using our low belly, low abdomen, we sort of initiate that rounding of the low belly, which ripples up to the upper body. That upper body takes some flexion. One more time, inhaling to lengthen out here. Now, your arms are welcome to be as straight as possible, but you have to make sure your muscles are on here. So keeping tension through the arms. Breathe out to round it out. Lengthen yourself out. Take a breath and maybe start to shift your knees back, going for a kneeling plank here. One more breath in as you breathe out, gently lowering your chest down to the floor. Let's flip those toenails over so that they're pressing down. As we inhale, upper body lifts just a little baby bit and then lowers back to the floor. Inhale up just a little baby bit and then down to the floor. 2 more, just a little bit, getting that extension going. Maybe you can hover your hands. Lower your chest down. One more time, just that little bit. Maybe you can hold your hands up here and we're holding for 10. Can we keep growing long from head to tail? Press the toenails into the floor. Zip up through your thighs. Think about tilting your pelvis towards your pubic bone, drawing your ribs in and lengthening for 2. For 1, place your hands back down, lower your head to the floor. Reverse engineer, maybe push yourself up. And then however you'd like to get there, walk your feet back forward to the top of your mat to find your hands. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it forward, fold. Push your feet through the floor, ripple, roll, lengthen your spine up overhead. Arms reach up. Let's right away go back down. We're going to do that again, but with a smidgen more speed. Inhale to lengthen out. Exhale to lower down, step back, find your kneeling plank. Or not kneeling plank, sorry, hands and knees. Inhale to lengthen out into your cow belly. Exhale to round into your cat. Inhale to lengthen it out. Exhale to scoop around. Find that moment of stretch through the spine. One more time. Inhale, really beautiful fascial moment here. Watch the shoulders don't creep up. Exhale to round. Inhale to lengthen out. Now maybe shuffle those knees back. Find a kneeling plank, or maybe you're ready for a full plank. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, gently lowering your chest down to the floor. Flip your toenails. Inhale up, just a little baby cobra. No, nodding yourself down to the floor, sliding yourself back up, lift through the thighs. Maybe you find a plank and then just walk yourself forward. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it down. Push your feet through the floor, ripple, roll your spine all the way back up to standing. Exhale down. One more time, just like that. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to lower down. Step yourself back into hands and knees. Hands are firmly planted. Push the floor away. Turn on. Squeeze the muscles in your arms. Inhale to lengthen your chest out through your hands, drawing your shoulder blades down your back. Exhale, scoop, tuck around. Push the floor away. Hollow the belly as your head drops down. 2 more. Inhale to lengthen it out. And you're always welcome to get kind of fancy here if you want to add a little bit of swooping, a little bit of circles. That's totally welcome. Whatever feels good in your wheelhouse. The next time you take an inhale, can you step back and find a kneeling plank or a full plank, or maybe you stay hands and knees. As you breathe out, gently lowering chest to floor. Maybe you're ready as you inhale to find a full up dog here. And then we're going to lift up just to a plank. Find your way from kneeling plank, plank, or quadruped, and bring your feet all the way forward to your hands. Inhale to come up halfway. We see the options building, yeah? Exhaling to melt it down. Push your feet through the floor. Roll yourself all the way up. Exhale, let's come all the way down. All right, inhale up halfway. As we breathe out, let's lower down. Let's step the right leg back. Let's let that right knee find the floor. Hug those legs together. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Take one little baby breath in here. And then as we breathe out, we're going to lower down. We're going to charge up the back leg, step it forward. Cha-ching! Let's come up halfway again. Lower down. This time your left leg is going to step back. Lower your left knee to the floor. Hug the legs in. Turn on those muscles. Sweep the arms up overhead. Take a breath in. We're shining up to the sun. Breathe out to lower the hands down. Charge up through that back thigh, and then it's going to step forward. You know it. Cha-ching! Inhale up halfway. Exhale down. Right leg goes back. Now maybe your right knee finds the floor. Maybe it stays a bit straighter, like more of a lunge. Hug those legs in. Reach yourself up to the sky. Or maybe a little taller this time. Taking that inhale there to feel maybe a bit of opening through the back front hip. Maybe hugging those legs together a little bit. Maybe bend in that knee. And then gently lower yourself down. Take that back leg, step it forward. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, melt it down. This time your left leg is going to step back. User's choice to come to the floor. Keep the back leg straight. Hug the legs in. Sweep those arms up. Maybe you require a little bend in that knee to square off through the hips, but hug the legs in. Think tall, shiny sun, warming thoughts. Breathe in. As you breathe out, take it forward. Use that back leg. It comes forward to meet the front foot. Inhale up halfway. We flow. Exhale it down. Now your choice if you'd like to step back to a kneeling plank, to a full plank, or to do the quadruped work we were already doing. Inhale to lengthen here. Exhale to gently lower yourself to the floor. Now your choice, if you're quadruped, you could be cat-cowing here, or you could be up in your up dog or baby cobra. We're going to step back to a downward dog here. If your shoulders are feeling less than fabulous and you would like to not be in a downward dog today, please feel free to stay on hands and knees. And you can get some gorgeous mobility happening here through your spine in different circles. And you can add the leg stuff from here as well. Yeah, so please know there are options if shoulders are not feeling so fabulous. Wherever you are, take a big breath in. Exhale it out. Maybe pedaling out this first downward dog. If you're on hands and knees, maybe circling through those hips, rolling through that spine. If you're up in more of this downward dog shape, you could give your hips a little wiggle side to side. Maybe seeing how you're feeling. And then wherever you are, can you find stillness in your shape? If you are on hands and knees, you're welcome to take a child's pose, and that goes for any time. Everybody's welcome to take a child's pose whenever they need it. Big breath in here all together. Can we stick our tongue out like a lion? Breathe out. Lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward. And as you breathe out with an empty belly, however you need to get there, make your way feet to hands. Inhale up halfway. Nice job, team. We're going to do that series again. Breathing it out towards the floor. Push your feet through the floor. Ripple, roll your spine up. That requires some ab work to do that. Hands come down through heart center. Rest beside your hips. Take an inhale. Roll those shoulders up. Exhale, bring them down behind you. Together, inhale the arms, sweep up to the sun. Exhale, bowing forward over those legs down towards the floor. Inhale to come up halfway. As you breathe out, we're going to go right to that high lunge with the right leg. So hug those legs together, bending into your front knee, and then bringing yourself all the way up. Hands can come up overhead. They can come to your hips, whatever feels good. Maybe a bit of a bend in that back knee, hugging front hip, back hip forward. Can we keep the arms really, really reaching here? And then if it feels nice, maybe bring those hands together to create a little pointer shape. Keeping stability in your legs, can you grow up really, really nice and tall? We're going to lift up and over and take a little side bend over to the left. Bring yourself upright. Keep reaching. Take a little side bend over to the right. Bring yourself upright. Lift up, little side bend up and back. Remember, your back knee could be on the floor. Release the hands. Think tall thoughts. And then take yourself forward. Bring your back foot forward to meet the front. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhaling to bring it down. This time the left leg steps back. Knee could be on the floor or all the way up in your high lunge. Hug those legs together. Front knee is bent as we bring ourselves all the way upright. Maybe a little bend in the back knee if you'd like to. Maybe it stays nice and straight. Keeping your hips nice and level. Hugging the legs in. Arms can reach up overhead. If you were clasping your fingers, can you clasp them the opposite way this time? Whoa, Nelly, feels kind of weird. Lengthening upright in space. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Can you inhale to grow up nice and tall? As you breathe out this time, let's go over to the right first. It's just a teeny tiny shape. Yeah, it doesn't have to be huge. Bring yourself upright. Lift it up. Little teeny tiny side bend over to the left. Upright in space. Little teeny tiny back bend up and back behind you. And then take that shape, bring it all the way forward. Hands are going to plant down, back foot comes forward. Inhale up halfway. Exhale to melt it down. Right leg is going to step back, but we're going to turn the back foot out this time. Finding our way up into our warrior two. Hug those legs together. Dun, da, da, da. Warrior two. Reaching out through those arms. Feeling your feet planted down. Squaring off through the hips and taking that front thigh. Let's lift our front heel to hover. Hug the legs in and take your back thigh. And it's like you're trying to tuck it in your back bum cheek pocket and then put that foot down. Arms are out. Taking your inhale here. Taking an exhale here. Maybe your palms flip up. I love a palm up. It feels like such a beautiful receiving gesture in warrior two. Breathing in and out. Now remember, the energy never stops here. It's hugging in. It's rooting down. It's growing tall. Can we take that back hand and slide the back hand down the back thigh as we reverse this warrior shape? Breathing in here. Keep bending to that front knee, breathing it out. That up and over the ribcage back bend without crunching down. We're trying to keep length in that backside waist. One more breath in as you breathe out. That top hand comes all the way around. Let's whirlwind, windmill those arms down. You're back in your lunge, your back foot steps forward. Inhale to come up halfway. We're going to the other side. Your left leg is going to step back, turn the left foot out, intersect those feet, hug them in, bend your front knee, and then windmill yourself all the way up, warrior two, second side. Hug those legs in like cray-cray. We're trying to open through our hips. Let's lift that front heel again to hover and hug it in. Let's take that back thigh, tuck it into the back bum cheek, and then lower down. Rib cage is in. Open those arms out. Take your pause. Inhaling here. Exhaling here. Maybe flipping the palms to face up. That's a beautiful moment. If your shoulders don't love holding them out like this, like I said, I have shoulder stuff too, and palms up is huge for me. It makes a huge difference. Let's take that backhand. It finds the back thigh. Reach forward with the front arm. Toboggan ride the backhand down the back thigh as we take that lifted up and over exhaltation. Breathing in. This is like our heart reaching up to the sun. Yeah, it's our, oh my gosh, thank you for everything you do moment. Taking the arms, bringing them up, windmill them all the way down. If you would like to take a flow here, you can take a flow. Step back into a plank, into hands and knees, into a kneeling plank, whatever works for you. Inhaling to get nice and long. As you breathe out, drawing your chest down to the floor. Inhale your version of a back bend, and then sliding back into whatever shape makes sense. It could be a downward dog. It could be hands and knees. It could be a child's pose. It could be something I haven't even said. Breath in here. Breath out. Little mechanics moment of our downward dog. Can we feel like we're lengthening through our tail, drawing those ribs in? If it makes sense to lower your heels, if you can keep your pelvis, feel free, but sometimes a little bend is nicer. We're pushing the floor away from us, trying to showcase our armpits to the floor, and our rib cages are in. Breath in through the nose here, please. Breath out. Inhale to lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward, breathe out, and on empty, little tiptoe steps, if you can, up to meet your hands. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it down, pressing your feet through the floor, ripple that spine all the way up overhead. Hands down through center, down by your sides. Take an inhale, collect the shoulders forward and up, exhaling them down beside you. When you're ready, inhale to reach the arms up overhead, exhaling to melt down. So we've done a few different versions of sun salutations here. Feel free to pick one. Inhale to lengthen up. That's going to be of best service to you if what we're doing isn't working for you. That right leg is going to step back. Turn the back toes out to find your warrior two on this first side. Hug the legs in, feel them nice and energized, and then ta-da, we windmill ourselves all the way back up again. Reaching out through the arms right away, feeling those gorgeous mechanics here of the legs hugging in. We're going to take that back hand to the back thigh, reach forward, exalt ourselves. Remember, we're not collapsing in the waist, we're lifting up and over here. Breath in to the side of the waist. Breath out. Bringing yourself all the way up. Now, your choice, you can interlace your fingers behind you. You could do like a prayer behind you. You could grab elbows behind you. You could keep your hands to your hips. We're going to bow forward. So keep the knees bent, lengthen up through the chest. And again, shoulders might not love that. You can keep your hands to your hips. And although we're trying to stay nice and open through our legs, we're going to turn our chest to the inside of our thigh, and we're going to bow down here. So arms could be wherever you need them to be. I'm not going to do that because that does not feel good for my shoulders. Hugging those legs in and melting yourself forward. Breathing in here. Breathing out. Drawing ourselves down in this humble shape. Bowing to the sun, our life source. Drawing those feet in, and that energy of the legs hugging in gives yourself the energy to curl upright. We're going to straighten through that front leg, maybe hands come to hips, and we're going to turn our front foot towards the long side of our mat. So we have 2 feet that are nice and parallel. Can you inhale to grow nice and tall? Now keep collecting your rib cage in. We're going to bow forward towards this long side. Once you feel like you've sort of reached capacity about halfway, you can start to curl and melt yourself down. Now again, feel free to bend your knees as much as you need to here. Taking a few moments to breathe in stillness, and then we'll add a little zhuzh. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. When you're ready, maybe starting to add a little ripple of the body, side to side. And if you're feeling extra spicy, maybe bringing your body up so that ripple is happening without hands on the floor. We're keeping it quite parallel for right now. La, 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 la. Your hands can go for like a little swoopy swoop if you'd like to. And then finding your way back to center. Inhale to lengthen up halfway. Exhale to melt it down. Let's all juicy bend the knees. Push your feet through the floor. Roll yourself all the way up. Your back toes are going to turn now. Cha-ching. so that we're finding warrior two on our second side, bending into that second knee now, opening up through the pelvis. When you're ready, lengthening out through those arms. And again, if you prefer a palms up, feel free to add that in here. Keeping our core contained, just like you do when you're in plank, and feeling the energy of those legs hugging in. Getting nice and rooted through your legs here, feeling how that base supports us as we take our back hand for toboggan ride, lifting ourselves up and back. Tempting as we go back in space to shorten the bend in our knee, but can we keep it really, really nice and juicy? Nothing is ever stagnant. Nothing is ever falling. As much as the legs hug in, we're lifting ourselves up and over here. Keeping that front thigh turned out. One more breath in. Using the top hand as leverage to bring ourselves up. Hands can come behind the hips, to the hips, elbows, or if you have the mobility to do a prayer, you can. Inhaling up tall with the torso, turning your chest to that inner part of the thigh as we bow in. And although this is a humble shape, it's a giving shape. So we want to make sure, even though we're gifting our energy and our practice wherever you feel like you need to gift it, that we're not giving like a heavy gift, right? We're giving a gift of honor, of gratitude. Inhaling here. Breathing it out. Breathing it in. When you're ready, hugging those legs together, feeling that cyclone of energy as it brings us all the way up. Let's straighten through our legs now. This time we're going to find a turned out shape. So your foot that's currently your front foot, turn it in so it faces like 2 o'clock. And then the foot that's your back foot, can you turn it out so it faces 10 o'clock? So you're in like a nice wide turned out position. And we're going to sit ourselves down. You're welcome to bring your hands to your heart, to your hips, up overhead. Make a mudra if you'd like, whatever is going to give you the spice factor to be here. And then with our legs turned out with them solid like this, our upper body has the space. Give yourself a moment of just like, whoo, upper body exploration. Notice if there's spaces you don't engage with very often, like the whole space behind us. Can you collect energy that exists behind you? And although it might feel silly, if we want to get into like neuro stuff, we want our body to be able to do functionally, or actually I'll rephrase that. The more that our space can access, the more information it's able to hold on to, the better health we're looking at for our brains. So although it feels silly, it's good for our tissues. Bring yourself all the way up. We're going to lean over to that right side. And if it feels reasonable, you can bring yourself all the way down into a nice deep squat. Now, this is the tricky part. You're going to push that right foot into the floor. Whoa, bring yourself all the way back up. Let's go the other way. Bend into your left knee, sitting yourself as low as makes sense on that left side. Feel that squat energy there, and then push down in the left foot to bring yourself back to your center squat. Let's go over to the right, bending into the right knee, going only as low as feels good for you, and then pushing yourself back up. So much work in the legs. One more time, over to the left. Left knee starts to bend. Use that left energy to bring yourself up. Standing up nice and tall through the legs. Turn your toes back to parallel. Let's tip forward and take that stretch one more time. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it down. Turn your left toes or whatever toes are towards the top of your mat forward. Walk yourself all the way forward. So you're in a bit of a lunge right now. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. We're going to use that lunge to make our way back into a plank. Remember, you could be kneeling hands and knees. You could be kneeling in a plank. You could be in a full plank. Take a breath in. Nice and calm as you breathe out. Lower yourself to the floor. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it down, and then slide your lovely selves up and back into a shell stretch. Shell stretch can look so different, or child's pose can look so different depending on what's happening in your body. You might feel happiest in more of a cat shape. You might be happy sitting all the way back. Again, it's your practice. I'm just offering a blueprint. Take a breath in here. Sigh it out. You take those hands and walk them over to the right side of your mat. And as you do that, feel your left hip hug back. If you are up on hands and knees, you're always welcome to take like a little scooty scooch around or thread your left arm under. Or you could always be on your back, yeah? Trying to get as many options out to you as possible. Breathing in and out. And then walking those hands all the way over to the left side of your mat. As you do that, feel that right hip draw back. Again, you could be on your back taking a twist. If you like being on hands and knees and you want to go through a thread, you totally can. Your right arm would just scoot underneath your left. Breathing it in here, breathing it out. Walking yourself all the way back to center. Bring yourself all the way upwards. Let's bring ourselves down and around so that we're lying down on our backs. But before we do that, if you'd like to just lie down and be there, you're welcome to lie down and be there. If you'd like to take like a really funky way to get down, arms are going to be out. Knees can be bent or straight. We're going to scoop through our belly and we're super slowly going to roll. And we're going to articulate and place our vertebrae on the mat. One, slowly at a time until we're on the floor. Bend your knees, walk your feet up towards you. Just going for a few shoulder bridges here. Arms are welcome to stay down beside you. Arms are welcome to reach up. Feeling those feet planted, breathe in, and as you breathe out, scoop through that belly, push your feet away, and lift yourself up. Inhaling at the top here. And then as you breathe out, rippling yourself one vertebrae at a time, all the way back to home base. Taking a breath in. As you breathe out, pushing those feet through the floor, scooping through your belly, firing your glutes as you lift yourself all the way up and out. Taking a breath in here, and then gently rolling yourself to the floor. Two more like this. Starting to settle our weight, settle our energy down into the earth. Absorbing the heat and the energy from the sun, especially if you happen to be practicing outside today. One more time, pushing the floor away, rolling through that pelvis, lifting yourself up, taking your breath in, and then gently rolling yourself all the way down. If you'd like to gently guide those knees into your chest, you're more than welcome to, giving yourself just a little rock side to side. And if it feels reasonable, maybe starting to bend into those knees. Now, it might feel good to grab towards the shins and draw your legs down that way. If you'd like to take a happy baby, you could bring your hands to the outside pinky toe edge side of your foot. If you have the mobility to wrap all the way around, you totally can. Or if you just feel happy drawing knees into chest, you're welcome to stay there too. Little rock side to side here. And then when you're ready, gently bringing those legs back to center, collecting them, giving them a nice squeeze. And then gently releasing down to the floor, starting to prepare for our restore portion of our time together. So bringing yourself upright, now is our chance to grab all of those pillows and blankets and cushions. And as you do that, I'm going to start cracking on with how we're going to set up today. So I always recommend, as long as you're not using blocks, and I always sort of structure the restoratives as if we didn't have any yoga props. We have to use everything in our house. So the first thing I always recommend doing is lying out a blanket. Even if you're on a carpet, even if you're on a soft surface, it just sort of helps change the texture of what our body is responding to. And it changes the space a little bit, which is good, right? For changing what we're doing. So we're going to be making a slope to lean backwards on. So first you want to decide what end of your mat is going to be the top edge of your mat. For me today, this portion up by the plant and the pink blanket, or this way, if you're on Instagram, are going to be the top edge. So I'm going to build a nice high. Now the height is really up to you. So the idea here is that we're keeping our head above our heart. So for me, if I sort of sit down, by the time I lean back onto these, I mean, it is going to be a slope, but it's already like, it's pretty high, which is nice. Actually, I can maybe do with it being a bit taller, but we'll crack on. So figuring out how high you want to go with whatever you have available to you. And then we're going to build our second part of our slope. So I don't want it to be as high as this. I would like it to be like a little bit lower because I'm going to be leaning back on it, right? So if I set my hips down in front of this second height, lean myself back, ooh, starting to feel good. And a little trickarooski here, I'm actually going to take this top pillow and wiggle it forward a little bit. Does that make sense? So there's no like empty space for my body to fall into. It's all sort of connected. Do, do, do. Ha-ha. And that sort of solves the height problem for me as well. So this is where your upper body is headed to. Now, lower body, I would like to make sure that we really super deluxe this restorative moment. So I'm going to grab a few more pillows. And I'm going to let's take 2 of them. Let's start with 2. I mean, I think that 2 of these equate to like 1 bedroom pillow. So, I mean, like, be your own judge. And I'm going to put it underneath my knees and then just see how that goes. Is getting super comfy, resting back in space here. So this is like, I would say like 80% capacity for comfort. And we want like 100. We want to treat ourselves. So I'm going to take 1 more pillow and slide it underneath my feet and my ankles. So it's sort of like another little slope for my legs, right? I have 2 and then 1. I could also maybe roll that one up a little bit so it's more, oh yeah, it's happening. Now, if you have more pillows and blankets available to you, you can build up under your arms so they have something to rest into. I'm also going to show you a wrap you can do to keep your arms tight to your body. But so quick recap for restorative stuff, because I don't want you to feel like you have to rush. Please take your time. So we have a blanket down underneath us. This is going to be the top part. So we want our top part to be our highest peak of our slope. So I have 3 couch cushions here. And then I have a second slope that's just, or second part to the slope just south of that. That's like 2/3 of its height. And once I've sorted that out, I sort of pulled the topmost layer forward just a little bit so that it's supporting from the top of my shoulders back, not just my head. It's from the shoulders back. Once you've established what the incline of your upper body is, we're going south towards the legs. So finding the right height that feels good for you for your knees, sort of like another little slope there. And then not forgetting about our ankles and our feet. We don't want to just leave them literally hanging. We want to give them support as well. So feel free to keep building that for yourself. I'm going to show you my favorite sneaky, cheeky arm support that my teacher taught me. And so essentially what you're going to be doing is creating a little under tuck. So your arms will be like this. So blanket will go on top. We're going to grab 1 corner, pull it under the armpit, grab a second corner, pull it under the armpit, and it creates like a nice tight little snuggie there. Or if you have a snuggie, you could just wear that, I guess, also. So with the blanket, what that looks like is it's over. I'm grabbing 1 corner, pulling it under nice and tight. Second corner, pulling it under nice and tight. And then once you rest your arms will rest there. So feel free to get nice and comfy. This is our only restorative shape together today. So we got to really super deluxe in it. Allowing your setup here to be one of comfort and of like maximum deliciousness. Bringing ourselves here. And then picking whatever support for your arm makes sense. Snuggie, snuggie, snuggie. And then lying back. Oh, love restorative yoga. Now, because this is our shape for the rest of our time together, I will speak a little bit to a meditation, and then I will transition into chimes. And then we finalize our experience with a little bit of silence. Now, if you feel like you want to exit practice together, I will definitely be offering that as well. However, if you get in a lovely, cozy state and you just want to stay forever and ever, please feel free to pause me, to turn me off. And I hope you enjoy your restorative moment. So, however you've begun to land in your restorative shape, coming into your breath, not forcing it to be anything, really just allowing it to exist in your body as organically as possible. And the longer you stay in this shape, noticing if there are any little tweaks that you can make to allow this to be the most comfortable experience. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through your mouth. Or maybe through your nose as well. If it feels of service to you to close your eyes, please feel free to do so. If that doesn't feel of service, then you don't have to do it. I'd like us to take a little body scan together. So we're going to be starting at our feet and working our way up. But before we start at our feet, can we just take a moment to check in with our face, our brain, our thoughts? And as you're resting here, is there any possibility that there is tension lingering between our eyebrows, around our eyes, within the gaze of our eyeballs, in our jaws, and in our breath? And as we took that quick exploration, if you happen to notice any little pieces hanging on, feel free to take this moment to let them go, or let them be, I should say. Let them be tension free. Starting at our feet, without judging, without changing, can you feel the weight of your feet on whatever surface they have arrived on? Left versus right. Even up to the tippy tips of your toes. Is there any fabric there, or awareness of those very furthest away from our body neuropads? And if you feel like there's anything in your feet that you can love and release, feel free to do that. Sending our attention up to our ankles. Noticing any extra gripping or support that could be provided. Sending some gratitude to this part of our body that allows us to move, not just the joint, but the muscles and tendons involved as well. Moving up our calves and our shins. Seeing if there's any possibility of asking them to just be supported, to take a break. Moving up to our kneecaps, a matrix of movement and support and an intersection in our bodies for many things. They take a lot of load. And so if there's a way to support them here, asking for a bit of softness. Taking this up our thighs, to our hips, our pelvis. Another amazing place in our bodies. Noticing here if there's a potential to soften through pelvic floor, through hips, front and back, through quads, through hamstrings. And if you're not sure, just take a deep breath into these spaces. And as you exhale, let them sink a little deeper. Taking this higher up into the low belly. Allowing the breath to ebb and flow out of your belly without judgment. Allowing our breath to billow. Taking it a little bit higher up into solar plexus, low ribs. Into the sides of our rib cage, the back of our rib cage. Around, spiraling up our bodies towards our collarbones, our shoulders. Giving thanks to this area of our body that does so much so that we don't even notice. We can do it without thinking about it. Down our arms, noticing how they're being supported in rest. All the way to the tips of our fingertips, allowing there to be softness here. Traveling back up our arms and shoulders to our head, our neck, our jaw. And although we semi-started here, just noticing if it kept, if the possibility of remaining spacious stayed in your body. Imagining every part of your body melting a little bit deeper into the availability of support underneath it or behind it. Now you are welcome to stay here. I'm going to make my way up to play some chimes for you. without changing anything, without disrupting the juju you've created for yourself. Starting to come back to your breath. Noticing the rise and the fall. Noticing the journey it takes. And noticing how you feel. If your wish is to close practice together, knowing that even as we start to journey out of this bubble we've created, that we want to try to keep as much of that resonance of space, of calm, as we make our way out. If it makes sense in your body to start adding maybe a stretch of the jaw, a wiggle of fingers and toes, maybe a big stretch overhead. Working your way towards bending your knees, planting your feet on the floor. And then maybe making your way over onto one side and taking a pause. As we suggest making our way up to seated, knowing that there's an option in which your eyes remain closed, and always, of course, with them remaining open. And whenever you're ready, starting to make your way up into that suggestion of seated, whatever that might look like. Eyes can be closed or open. But wherever you are, can we bow into ourselves? Summer solstice being our time of peak sunshine. And although we still have lots of sunshine left for the year, we start to, from here, dwindle down into harvesting. And knowing that there's been so much that's happened up to summer solstice, and then knowing that the next portion of the year, earth is starting to prepare for this harvest, which is, taking all of these seeds that have been planted and growing and using them to nourish us. I believe that that's such an interesting symbolism for what we've been learning. And so maybe taking some time today to celebrate solstice. Technically it was yesterday, but we can still celebrate today. And maybe just taking a reflective moment to see what seeds have been planted, what fruits have been growing that you're preparing to harvest. If you'd like to rub your hands together, create a little bit of heat and fire, and then place them over your eyes. Gently fluttering your eyes open underneath your hands. Bring your hands down and around, giving yourself a nice squeeze. Placing one hand at heart center, second hand over that, and bowing back in. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your blueprint guide to class today. It is always a pleasure and an honor to be able to share space in this way with you. May there be this sense of purpose and growth and harvesting in our lives, in our energy, in our speech, in our thoughts, in our hearts, in our actions. And may we be able to share this growth and this harvest, or potential for harvest, when the time is right. As always, thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Thank you, thank you, thank you.